Hi FlossTube, it's Lady Robbins. Thank you for stopping in and checking out what I'm up to these days. It is Friday, December 6th. It's a new day for me to film. Usually I film on Wednesdays, but I decided I would wait because I knew that I was going down to the first Thursday stitching meetup at Acorns Threads, and I thought, well, there might be something to talk about after I do that, so I'm doing a Friday video. So here we are. It is the 6th of, oh my gosh, it is the 6th of December. Holy cow, December, here we are. Yeah, it has been a really busy week. It has been a fun week. I hope you guys have been having a good week. So here we are. Once again, it is afternoon, so I am having a little coffee pick-me-up to get me through the rest of my day. I still have a number of things I want to accomplish before I go to bed, so it's not too late to have coffee because it's not 6 p.m. So today's mug, I know you all love this part of my show, is what Starbucks mug is Robin using today? Today, we're in Virginia. Look at that cute little crab. And then I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is the Capitol building in Colonial Williamsburg, I think. I'm pretty sure. So, Virginia today is our location. A couple of you have reached out and said, hey Robin, what mugs don't you have? Okay, don't send me mugs because I have tons. The only US mug I don't have is Pittsburgh. And I've spotted it on Mercari. So if you have Pittsburgh, go ahead and enjoy it because I have found it. And after that, then I just need to finish my collection of Canadian mugs. So if you've got some Canada mugs, we can talk. If you've got ones you don't need, yeah, we can talk about that. But for the US, I just have Pittsburgh left, and then I've got all of them. So I don't collect the new ones. These are the old You Are Here series. They discontinued them last year. I think it was last year. And they've introduced the now Been There series, which are fine, but they're not my favorites. I like these better. So there you go. More than you wanted to know about Starbucks mugs. Let's see here. If you are joining me this afternoon, I don't know if I said it already, but this is my channel and we talk about cross stitch. So yeah, sewing. Well, you know, hand sewing. Cross stitch is the name of the game here. If you are a subscriber, thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. I love reading your comments. I love hearing from you. I try really hard to respond back if I can. Some weeks are busier than others. I do want to say, I don't know what happened. I got a comment and I read it kind of in that little comment notifier on my phone, and somebody had asked me about tools that I use, and I'm trying to see if I can spot one of the things. Gosh darn it. Hold on. Let me just take half a second here. So professional, right? Here we go. They had asked about, I think they'd asked about what tools I used, and this is one of the things that I use is the Snippities by Caddy Cross Stitch. Cross Stitches. Caddy, there's her logo. Caddy Cross Stitches. She has an Etsy store, and her name is Marion, and she's lovely. And anyway, so I use these a lot. This is felt, so you know, you can put your little threads on there and they don't fall off. So this is great because then I don't go wandering off to work with threads hanging off my shirt. Well, I do, but this helps alleviate that. So that was that was a comment that I had spotted, and I went to find that comment to type back to you personally, and I'll be doggone if I can find it. I don't know where it went. So I read your comment, but I can't find it to respond. So hopefully that answers your question. This is where I get that. I've talked in the past that I also like the Bitsy Bobs, and they do the same sort of thing with the felt in the middle, so your stitches or your threads stick to it. So this is one of the things I use to keep me organized. You know, as organized as I can be, because I'm a hot mess most times. Let's see here. Yeah, so let's get into it. I had a finish last week. I finally, that's a song, I'm sure, finished my Prairie Schooler Let It Snow limited edition kit, or whatever they called it. So let me show you that. Actually, I'm going to show you the pattern first, because I followed what you guys said on FlossTube. I made some changes. Okay, so here it is. This is what it is. It's the Prairie Schooler. It's the Let It Snow limited edition chart. So what I changed up, and I've talked about this before, is I changed the color of that snowman. Woo, big change, right? I used the white that came in the kit that is for his beard, and I made the snowman white. So here it is. It's all done. Now, the other thing that I chose to do was I chose to not put the little snowflakes in. You see all these little green dots? I'm assuming those are supposed to be snowflakes and not measles, right? So I chose to leave those off, and I also chose not to put in the 07, you know, because I mean, I get it. It's the 2007 limited edition kit, but since I'm stitching it in 2019, it just didn't feel like it, I don't know, seemed all that appropriate or whatever. So I've just chosen to leave it blank, and I think it looks fine. And yeah, and I decided not to do all those little snowflakes. So I like it just the way it is, and I think I want to frame it. It's not very big, so it won't take up much wall space, and yeah, that's kind of my plan for this. That's the next step. So that was my finish. And then the other thing that I'm still kind of working on is, I know I showed you the Thankful Pillow, and I placed an order with Lady Creates to get some of her yummy trimmings. And so I picked up this wonderful orange chenille trim, and I went down to, like I said, I went down to Acorns the first Thursday, and I talked to Jolynn, and she kind of helped start me on putting that on the side. So I'm looking forward to finishing that up. That won't take me very long, but you know, oh my gosh, you guys, there's a lot of trim that comes when you purchase from her. So I'll have lots left over, and I'll show you in a minute what I'm planning on using some of this leftover trim on, because I think it's going to be super cute. So that's the other kind of finish. What is it? Fully finished object. I'm still working on fully finishing this object. I thought it was fully finished, but now that I've got the trim, it's like, well, I guess it's not quite fully finished. So I'll get that whip stitched on there, and I'll show you that next week when I get that done. One of the things that I thought about putting on the side of my Thankful Pillow was the mini pom-poms, the mini poms from Lady Creates, but I was watching a tutorial that Stephanie Webb had created for the Just Cross Stitch magazine, and she was talking about how this tape that is on the side of the palms, you know, you have to pull it off. And, you know, she had a really good tutorial showing how to do that. But, and she talks about this in the video, so it wasn't completely unexpected, although I'm still slightly alarmed, is as I'm pulling it off, my palms are unraveling. And so I feel like I need to be super duper careful as I'm pulling the tape off the palms, because apparently I must be yanking too hard or something, because it's becoming fuzz and not pom-poms anymore. So I'm gonna have to be much gentler with this, but I still love them. I think they're gonna be super cute to trim up little pillows and things, but you know, note to self, be really, really gentle with this stuff. This one is called Snow, which I think is just adorable. I think that's a, you know, awesome name for little white pom-poms. And I'll show you the other things that I picked up. I figured as long as I was on her website, right, do a little shopping. So the other things I picked up, and I don't necessarily have projects in mind for them, but I just picked up some really, I don't know, I thought they were just basic colors that would probably come up quite often, but I bought her licorice colored chenille trim, so kind of a charcoal colored one, and I thought, you know, that seems like you could use that all over the place. And then I also picked up her red chenille trim, and that's called Sizzle, which I think is, you know, that's adorable. What a great name for a red color. And then because, you know, I liked that color so much, then I decided I'd pick up the Sizzle mini pom-poms. So I got that one. And then the last one, you can never go wrong with a good green. So Sequoia mini poms are also in my possession. So I think these will come in handy all over the place. I'm looking forward to stitching things that need to be turned into pillows so that I can add it around the outside edge. I'm really looking forward to using those. But like I said, I'm learning my lesson. You gotta be super duper careful with those, because I was kind of alarmed seeing the pom-poms become fuzz. And I don't know if the rest of you have crazy problems like that, but it seems like if there is a way to figure out how to goof something up, I'm your gal. Because I don't know if I told you the funny story about making my pillow. Becca of Sombre Stitches, she was so kind. She reached out to me as I, you know, because I whined about how terrible I am at doing these things and I don't know how to do it and blah, blah, blah. And I was having like a, you know, a little meltdown about it. And so she sent me step-by-step directions. And, you know, her directions are fabulous because I was able to do it. But the part where I messed up is I ironed my stitching, and I did it on one of those wool mats. So, you know, you put your steam iron on, you know, on your piece, and then the wool mat is underneath it, and so it kind of reflects the steam back into the piece. So it's almost like it's, you know, getting steamed from the top and the bottom, and you know, that's great. The part where it's not so great is Becca, you know, has you put interfacing on your, you know, stitched piece and then your backing fabric. And, you know, I read the directions and it says you should, you know, put a damp cloth on your interfacing and then iron it and, you know, or hold it in place for 10 seconds or whatever it is. And so I did that, right? And then after I was done, I was kind of testing it. I was kind of, you know, picking at the edge to make sure it was securely, you know, down on the fabric. And it was like, huh, it's interesting. I can kind of pick that up a little bit. And I thought, oh, it doesn't matter because it's the inside of the pillow. And so, you know, in typical Robin fashion, I just charged ahead and figured, oh, it's, you know, it's good enough. It's fine. Who cares? And then, you know, so I sewed around the pillow on my sewing machine, and I left a little bit here that I whip stitched closed, and, you know, then I, you know, went, oh, it's a little wrinkled. I probably should, you know, touch it up with the iron one more time. And Becca does say to do that in her direction. So I, you know, touched it up with my iron one more time, and then went to stuff it, right? And I'm like, well, this is weird. It's like stuck. And so I'm like having to, like, you know, peel the thing apart so I can, you know, get the, you know, the stuffing stuff down in there. I'm like, this is weird. And I am like, I mean, I'm like really yanking, and I'm thinking I'm gonna bust out the side stitches. And I think what happened is, because that I was ironing on that foam mat that was really full of steam, I don't think it adhered. And so then, you know, 20 minutes later, you know, that foam mat has calmed, you know, or cooled off is what I'm trying to say. And so then when you know, I'm trying to, you know, crisp up my seams and stitch them, I think that's when the interfacing actually stuck, and I stuck the interior together. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm like, I'm glad I can't see what a complete mess it is inside of here. But somehow the good Lord was watching out for me, because I was able to stuff it, and I'm gonna get trim on it, and nobody's gonna be the wiser except for you guys that watch FlossTube, because I just confessed all over the place. So anyway, that was, I was like, of course, if it's gonna happen to anybody, it's gonna happen to me, because I can always figure out a way to take simple directions and turn them on their head. Oh well, I'm not mad. It doesn't matter. You know, the thing is done. It's good enough. It's, you know, it's not going to be judged anywhere. It's just going to sit in my house during November. So anyway, that was kind of my crazy story. And actually, Becca was at First Thursday meetup yesterday, and so I was able to tell her that story in person, and she was, you know, she was very gracious about it, and she was like, oh, that, you know, that sounds crazy. And I'm like, yep, that's my life. So anyway, the things that I've got planned, I've told you what I've finished. I thought, well, maybe I should talk about my whips next. I'm gonna work on 3 whips this week. I've already worked on the first one, which is playing with Jax, which I haven't worked on in a while. It's been kind of fun to bust that guy out. So let's see here. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Here it is. So in case you've forgotten what that looks like, it's this guy. So I am back to working on that. I'm working on this gourd right here, and I've got about 500 stitches in it so far this week. And there we are. Yeah. So, I was able to stitch going down to First Thursday because I took the train. I rode the Amtrak train down to Portland with Erin, the 2 Martini stitcher, and her friend Carrie, and we had a really great time. And boy, is that the way to get to Portland. Not having to drive those bridges. Oh yeah, I'm all over that, because I drive on those bridges and I want to cry. It's just like, I don't know how you people do that. Oh my gosh. I mean, we talk about traffic in Seattle being bad. We got nothing compared to that bridge nonsense. Oh, ick. I do not like those bridges. So it was great. We took the train down there. You know, the only problem was the train was an hour and a half late, which was not okay. No, I don't mean it like that. It was ridiculous because, you know, I'm always you know, trying to, you know, not cut it too close, but that always seems to happen. You know, I always try to do one more thing. Okay, got a phone call, sorry. So anyway, the train was late, and the only reason it made any difference was I decided, well, I'm gonna, you know, slide into Starbucks, get my regular order, and then go to the train. And as I get in there, I can see like 5 people standing waiting for their coffees. And I thought, oh crap, I don't quite think I have enough time for my regular order. So, you know, I'm like, okay, I'll have the drip coffee and throw a little syrup in there and, you know, room for cream, and I'm out of here. And so, you know, I get over there, and I'm probably about, I don't know, 10, 12 minutes before the train's supposed to leave. And, you know, I meet up with Aaron and Carrie, and we're standing there. And then I think it was Carrie checked the app, and she's like, oh, it's delayed. I'm like, oh, for crying out loud. I would have had time for my regular Starbucks order. And we stood there, and Carrie checks the app. I'm way too lazy for that. It's delayed again. And by the time the train left the Tequila station, it was 90 minutes late. I could have gone back to Starbucks, sat down, had my regular order, and made it back with an hour to spare. Oh well, it doesn't matter. It was fine. We got there. It just meant it cut our time short at Acorns, but we still had plenty of time to stitch and talk to all our friends, and we had a really nice time. And for those of you that weren't there, you know, Anna, Stitch Roadie, Michelle Bendy, we missed you. We missed you. Hopefully we can see you on the next one. But anyway, taking the train to Portland, that's the way to go. Yep. And what's really cute is my husband had actually said to me, I don't know about this driving down to Portland once a month thing. I'm like, well, what do you mean? He's like, do you know how many miles that's going to put on the car? I'm like, no. I'm not doing that math. You're the math major. You can do that math. He did. He's like, that's going to be an extra 3,000 miles on the car a year if you go every single month. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, you know, cars are meant to be driven, right? And he's like, well, could you go every other month? And I'm like, no. Sorry, dear, that's not an option. I mean, these are my people. I have to see my people. And I said, but what would you think if I took the train? And he was like, oh yeah, do that. Huh? I've got carte blanche. Take the train. Take the train every month. Don't put the miles on the car. Love it. So, yep, trains and me. I'm gonna be figuring out, I don't know, reward. I guess it would still miles, right? Reward miles on Amtrak. Fun. I liked it. Okay, so anyway, like I said, I have 3 whips I'm planning on. Rabbit hole. 3 whips I'm planning on working on this week. So like I said, I've worked on stitching with Jax, and the other one I'm gonna work on is, once again, comes out just about every week, it feels like, but that's okay because I'm really looking forward to finishing it. The Pretty Little Seattle. So that's where I am on that guy again. I don't know if I feel like I did more. I think I did a little stitching on that last week. Last week was kind of funny because of Thanksgiving. I pretty much finished the Prairie Schooler, and then that was it. I never got back to stitching because we went to friend's house for Thanksgiving, and even though they would have been fine with me sitting and stitching, it was kind of nice to just hang out with the friends and chat. We played some fun board games. Oh my gosh, guys, if you're board gamers, we got a new game, and it's called Reef. reef, R-E-E-F, like coral reef, and you're building coral reefs, and it's a total blast. If you need a Christmas board game, go get Reef. It's really fun. Okay, so Pretty Little Seattle, and then the third one, I've decided this guy's gonna come out of timeout. It's my Leisure Arts Christmas A to Z. Oh my gosh, that's a wrinkled mess. I guess I was really mad at it when I put it back in the bag. I might have to hit that with the iron. Holy cow. Yeah, so I'm going to work on those three. What I found is, because I wasn't paying attention to homework last week, I decided that I was just going to, do my own thing and stitch when I felt like it and, all that stuff. Guess what? I didn't stitch as much. Apparently, I need the regimen of homework to keep me stitching. And I thought that was interesting, that I'm not much of a self-starter. I kind of like those prompts and all that stuff. So I'm back on School of Magical Stitches. So there we go. Who knew? Who knew that I was 3 and can't, like, do things without homework assignments? You do whatever works for you, right? If homework doesn't work for you, counting stitches doesn't work for you, don't do it. Apparently, that works for me and I need to do that. So I'm back on it. And it's kind of fun because I've been looking at other stitching challenge groups that are on Facebook, and I signed up for Enchanted, what is it called? I think it's Enchanted Stitches, which is similar to School of Magical Stitches. They kind of have, weekly homework challenges, and they base theirs kind of on Disney movies or, rides or whatever. I've only been watching them for about 2 weeks, so I don't know a whole lot about it. But what I'm finding is a lot of times the homework that I'm doing from Magical Stitches, I can figure out a way to make it count for the Enchanted Stitching groups too. So I'm kind of, this week I'm trying, now I'm overcompensating. I'm trying to do the homework from 2 groups, and that's kind of a fun mental challenge to try to figure out how to fit that all together. But it's working. So far, like I have 500 stitches in the Playing with Jax, and I've got another 100 stitches to go to fill one of the challenges, and then I'm going to switch over to Pretty Little Seattle, and there's there's 3 things that I can make that one work for. And so to tick all the boxes for that, I need to do like 250 stitches on that. So that'll work. And then the Christmas one, I think I only need like 100 stitches. So I think I only have like 350 stitches left to do until Sunday, and then I'll have finished all the homework. So anyway, it's kind of fun. I guess I really like doing the challenges, so we'll keep working on that. Because I went down to Acorns, I did a little shopping, and because I did a little shopping, this morning I had a new start. I am working on a ornament chart, and I know I was supposed to show you guys first, but I figured since I'd be filming in like 4 hours that maybe you'd give me a little grace over 4 hours. So I picked up these charts yesterday at Acorns, and I think they're adorable. So here's one of them, and then they're the companion to it, this guy. And so I'm starting on this one, the little Rejoice deer, and I've just got the border in. I met some girlfriends this morning for coffee, And while we were having coffee and chatting, I just sat there and stitched, and I got the border put in. And yeah. So okay, so I bought them yesterday and I'm showing to you. I've already started working on it. And when we were down at Acorns, people brought all sorts of gifts for each other. I didn't know that was a thing. And one of the gifts I got was this really cute project bag by Wendy from Wendy in Wonderland. And look at that. And it's got a little kind of looks like a snowflake, which is appropriate to go with our skating snowman. So I'm using that project bag for my new ornament start. Wendy, thank you. I really, really like it. And it fits perfectly. These little charts fit right in there, and I got my flosses, I got some scissors in there, and yeah, that was so unexpected, and I'm really grateful. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. The other things that we got, let's see if I can find them on my mess of a desk. Oh, well, we got some needle minders. Hold on one second. I got this cute, oh my goodness, excuse me. You see that? There's probably a little glare on there. This cute needle minder. This is from Steph of Stitch Goes My Heart. And then this one, little tree. This is from Diane. Thank you, ladies. I love these. And can you hear that? I bought a while ago one of these Lila May magnetic boards, and I'm putting all of my, well, as you can see, I don't have that many, but I'm putting my needle minders on here, and then they hang out in my craft room. And I thought that I'd be able to just take that board and, you know, put my pattern on it, but it's really big and it doesn't fit in any of my project bags. So I've decided to repurpose it and have it be a needle minder storage for here in my room. So girls, thank you for those needle minders. And then the other thing, where did that go? Melissa gave us all these cute little, oh my gosh, where did it go? Sorry, I'm looking down. Sorry, the top of my head is oh so interesting. She gave us a cute little bag with the teeniest, tiniest little scissors you've ever seen. Mine are green. I love them. Green's my favorite color. And a skein of black Etoile DMC floss. And for Pete's sake, what did I do? Well, you know what? I'm sure it'll turn up as I'm, you know, mucking around with all the stuff on my desk. But the other thing I did was way too much shopping. So I've already showed you the patterns for the Christmas ornaments. And then the other thing that I pre-ordered this from Caddy Cross Stitches, Marion the librarian. I bought one of her project bags. So can you see this? It's nautical dogs. Look at, there's a mermaid dog. Oh my gosh. So I got this from Marion. Thank you, Marion. I love it. I was on her Etsy site and I spotted that and it just made me giggle. And so I'm like, well, if it makes you giggle, you have to buy it. So I bought that and she hand delivered it to me. And then, let's see here. Oh, the other thing I bought the horn book from off of Etsy, and I'll link in my notes below who I got this from. That's going to be the finish for the autumn ABCs. So now I have the horn book. So this has been out of stock on the Etsy site for maybe over a month, and so I thought, well, maybe they're just not going to make any more until next year when everybody's all hot and bothered to do fall stitching. And all of a sudden I got a notice that it was back in, so I quickly bought that so that I can work on that. So that's super fun. Oh, and then I remember I told you I have something that I want to use the rest of the Lady Dot Creates Jax Chenille. So I've got this pattern. And I think it even says, yep, it says on the back of the pattern that it's finished with the Lady Dot Create Chenille trim. So, yep, I'm gonna stitch up these guys. I don't know if I have enough for all 4, but I bet I have enough for a couple. So that's another new purchase. And my friend Lynn and I have signed up to go to, I think it's in April. Acorns and Threads is having a 2.5, 3-day stitching retreat, and Jeanette Douglas is the designer for that retreat. And I have wanted to stitch her chart, Take Time to Stitch. So I spotted that on sale through 123 Stitch. And so I picked that up. Oh my gosh. My husband said to me when I came home from Acorns, I'm like, oh, Rob, and look, and then I got this, and look, and then I got this. And he was like, I'm not going to let you go down there. And I'm like, no, you already said I could take the train every month. But he's right. I cannot go down there and shop like a crazy woman each and every time. So I think this might be the last of my, crazy out of control spending. Because the other thing I did, and I think maybe that's what fueled part of this spending rampage, is I decided that I should sign up for the Facebook group Stitch from Stash. And the highest monthly budget you can have is $25. I'm like, $25? Well, that can't count fabric, because a piece of fabric can be $25. Nope. $25 include, charts count, fabric counts, flosses count. It's like, what? It's already stressing me out. So because it starts in January, I'm like, I gotta hoard everything, in December, because I'm not doing that yet. Oh my gosh. So, the other things that I bought were this cute, Merry Christmas primitive pillow from Abby Rose Designs. And if you want to see this already stitched up, Becca Sambry Stitches, she has completed this, and you can see pictures of it on her Instagram. I don't know if it's on her FlossTube, but I know for sure I saw it on her Instagram. So this is super pretty. And then Lindy Stitches, this is one of her December releases. God rest ye merry gentlemen. And I just love it. The gentlemen are resting. I thought that was a hoot. So again, if it makes you giggle, you gotta have it. So I had to pick that up. And then the last chart I bought, the last chart, is this one by Heartstring Samplery, and Beth Twist was there, so that was fun. I sat right across from her at the table, and this is her motto sampler, and you can pretty much put anything you want in the middle there. And so she has charted out the phrase, I was a cross stitcher before cross stitching was cool, and so that's what I'm gonna put in the middle here. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And then I thought, back behind me there's some empty wall space, and I thought maybe right back there I would frame it and put that up on my wall. And then after that, the only other things that I purchased were some linen. So one's a really nice 36 count, and then this is a 30 count. So this I'm planning on using for the motto sampler to go with this guy. So, and then this is for Cranberry Christmas. I had actually bought fabric for this last time I was at Acorns, but when I was looking at the threads, I'm going to try these sulkies. This white color is almost invisible against the fabric I had bought last time. So I went with something that's way, way darker. So it should show up. It should show up nicely. So anyway, that is kind of my plans for upcoming stitching. I don't know exactly when I'm gonna start all these, but because I'm gonna do stitch from stash, I have plenty of stash to stitch from. Let's see here. I guess that's about it, except for talking about giveaways. Kelly Hale won the 3 magazines from my last FlossTube, and Kelly, send me your address. I still don't have your address. I would love to get those in the mail, and if you sent it, send it again, because I don't know what's going on, but I don't have it. So send it to me. If I don't have it by next FlossTube, I'll just pick somebody else. I'll just assume you've kind of decided, they're not for me. So that's fine, because, you know, if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. I totally get it. But speaking of not my thing, what am I looking for? I picked up a magazine at Joann's, and it has a 2020 calendar in it. You know, cross-stitch magazine. And, oh, here it is. Oh, hold on. And, sorry, fell on the floor. Anyway, it's called the Teddy Bear Calendar, and there's 6 little cross-stitch charts in here. And while it's adorable, and these, you know, I'll show them to you really quick. These things are super, super cute. I know they're not things that I would ever stitch, so I thought, you know what? Let us pass these guys on. So if you would like this cute teddy bear calendar, let me know. Put it in the comments down below that you'd like to stitch the calendar. So that's kind of the January, February. And here is March, April. And then here's May, June. And July. Guy's adorable. July, August. Little guy cooking his burger. That couldn't be cuter. And September, October. I'm trying to figure out what he's doing. I don't know if he's having tea and cookies, or maybe that's tea and cookies. Maybe that's a jar of cookies. And then the last one is November, December, and look at these 2 guys in their Santa hats. They're super sweet. But I know that I'm not going to get to stitch this anytime soon, and I don't really have little people in my life that would appreciate this, so I'd like to send it on to somebody who has little people that would appreciate it. So if you'd like the calendar, put a comment down below. You'd like to stitch the calendar and do all the things you're supposed to do. Be a subscriber. Don't say giveaway. Don't say free pattern. All those things that, you know, people search for, and then suddenly you're full of trolls. So yeah, if you'd like to stitch the calendar, I'll send it anywhere, because, you know, it's pretty thin. It's not going to cost me a whole lot to send it on. So yeah, I'd like to send that out to you. Let's see here. Oh, the other thing. Hold on one second. I had a comment on when I showed this after Fall Fling that somebody had wondered if they could get the pattern. And so when I was down at Acorns on Thursday, I talked to Jolene, because she's the mastermind behind this. And she said, call Acorns and talk to her about it. So I got the impression, not that she was unwilling to share the pattern, but she'd kind of like to be in control of her pattern and her designs, which is, you know, totally legit, right? It's her pattern, it's her thing. She gets to be in control of distributing it. So call Acorns and Threads in Portland, Oregon, and talk to Jolene if you were looking for this pattern, so she can kind of coordinate that with you. All right, you guys, that's it. I hope you have a good weekend. I know I'm gonna have a good weekend, because the other thing is tomorrow is the stitching meetup. If you're in the Pacific Northwest, Seattle area, we're gonna meet at the Renton Highlands Library. It's one of the King County Library System branches, Renton Highlands Library. We're gonna stitch from 12 o'clock until they close at 5. So come join us, come stitch with us. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you all. Have a good rest of your week, and I'll check in with you next week. Okay, bye FlossTube.